Okay. Um, my name is Raymond Mindwiser Jr. I am 22 years old. Birthday is June 14th, so turned 23 in 3 months, but I really don't give a fucking shit about that. I really don't care about any kind of holidays, to be honest. So, what's this podcast going to be about? Well, I don't think it really fucking matters, if I'm being honest. Like, I see these other podcasts saying this podcast is about this and this and that, as if people are going to like really come every single time to see you talk about that. Like, no, like this is what I want with this podcast is to basically, one, get my point across because people seem to never let me fucking talk. And, yet they're coming to me for advice and coming to me to talk, but yet they don't want to hear what I have to say. So I'm starting to wonder if they're just fucking wasting my time or what's going on there. But I try to be a good person and a nice person, so I try and listen and help as much as I can. But let me just say the preface, and then I'll get back to that. So, you like that lick? That's that ASMR, boy. Okay. Yeah, like, I want this podcast to be about, first off, this is just going to be audio at first, because I'm not sure how I feel about, you sitting down and watching me talk. Like, even if it's some real shit, I may just, I'll do it, but I really don't recommend it for long, like, I'd say, like, when I start posting videos, the video of it, and I'll start, posting clips. Look, I'm going to be a little bit, all over the place. This is my first time doing this. I definitely have some nerves going on, but they can go fuck themselves. Yeah, like, I'll start posting short clips of the long format video of the podcast, and I recommend watching those, really, if the visual picture does it for you. But I really recommend just, if you like listening to the podcast, then you listen to the podcast and you do something. I was thinking about earlier, I was like, well, maybe you feel like you can't do something and hopefully the podcast will give you a spark. That's fine. But then once you get that spark, go do something. If you want to further that, I also don't think it's good to, get your spark from me. You need to learn. You could do it temporarily. It's okay, but you need to learn eventually how to spark yourself. But, I do think that doing something is better than doing nothing, so, depends on how far along in the process you are, right? In terms of figuring that aspect about yourself out, so. Yeah, this is not going to be like, this is going to be about life. Like, this is going to be about everything. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm going to curse. I'm going to say some stupid shit, some funny shit. I'm going to sound like a priest sometimes. Like, I'm a very complex person, as most of us are. As all of us are, but I do think that there's levels to it. I don't know, though. I haven't dissected every person, so don't hold me to that. I understand I'm probably going to say some things that, in the eyes of society, I probably shouldn't. I don't give a fuck because, only God can judge me. And, people say that quote and think that quote and post that quote, but I really fucking mean it. Like, I don't care what you fucking think about me. I used to, and I still do a little bit, but it's more of my mind that does that versus, me actually, like, caring about what people think. Yeah, so this is gonna be, maybe sometimes I'll start playing and stuff, but, like, right now I'm just going off of the top, speaking from the heart, speaking what comes to mind, stuff like that, to that nature. I definitely want this to be, like, positive. I definitely want you to feel inspired and get, like, good information from this. Like, I'm not just doing this for money or anything other than that, like than just like positive impact. I feel like I'm a relatable person in some, you know, in some sectors of a human being, if you'll call it. But yeah, I'm also not. I'm also very extremist in some aspects. Well, I guess people could relate to that too. I don't know. I'm just doing this. I'll see what comes from it. Again, I do have a lot of people who come up to me and talk to me and, treat me like I'm a priest or something. So maybe this will be good that, I can get across what I need to get across. Hopefully get across what God wants me to get across. And help you that way, because you guys are really just fucking with my time, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I'm out here like really fucking getting after it every single day, trying to, man, I'm going to sleep exhausted. I mean, I'm like crawling into my fucking bed lately. And people are just coming up to me with their shit. I'm like, you got no fucking clue about how this shit really works. Clearly. But, in their eyes, I don't either, I just think it's funny, like, I think it's funny how, like, I don't know if I should talk about people, but I tell my mom all the time, I'm like, I get it, you won't ever listen to me, you won't truly understand me or listen to me until I'm that guy, like, that figure, like, I just think it's funny, like, people hated on, to the likes of Conor McGregor, Michael Jordan, like, all these people, they hated, like, they just treat them like regular people, right? Like, who the fuck is this guy? What the fuck does he know? But then when they become when they become what they've been preaching for all those years, then it's like, they'll shut the fuck up and listen to him for 4 hours. So I understand that you do have to do it versus just talk about it. So I'm working towards that. What do I want to do? I'm not sure if I want to express my plan for life yet, so I'll think about that. I've done that in the past and hasn't worked out the way I said it would. Still doesn't mean that it's not the right plan and I'm not on the right track, but yeah, I feel like I'm definitely like a little intense right now and maybe talking a little bit too fast, but a lot of feelings and thoughts going on right now starting this first podcast. And I was this is stemming from, I was originally going to start my own podcast, and then my old friend, I started talking to my old friend again, and he was interested in starting a podcast, and then started talking to the other old friends that, we'll call it like a group, if you want to call it like that, just like a friend group. And they're all interested too, and I don't know, maybe this will spark actually starting that. This is a little tough, huh? Because I want to talk about some things, but maybe feel like I can't talk about them because then they'll hear them. Which is okay, if I wasn't talking to them, but now I am talking to them again. I don't just mean specifically them, I just mean everybody, like friends, family, all that kind of, all those kinds of things. Like, I'm not really talking to any of my family right now on both sides, and I have no, plan on doing it. But I am a child of God, and I do try and listen to him as much as I possibly can. So I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Man, I'm getting deep, huh? I just want to be as real and as authentic as I can on this podcast. I want to podcast. It's not even like a podcast to me. I have to look up that word. I don't even know what that word like actually genuinely means, but to me it's just like I'm getting something across, and hopefully whoever's listened to this can get something from it, and become a better version of themselves, because that's really all I'm about. I'm about being the best version of myself that I possibly can. I'm a huge fucking critic of myself. I talk extremely negative about myself, but it's because I know I have that dog in me to fight back against that negativity. It's not like I just let that negativity destroy me and shit like that. Although I will say, lately in the gym, I've been talking positive of myself, like whispering, and when I'm getting like real bold, just talking out loud. Sometimes I'll even like talk out loud to some people. When I was hitting the heavy bag the other day, a couple people came up to me asking if I was done with the heavy bag, like while I was on the heavy bag. And I don't know, maybe I'm a psychopath, but I take that as like disrespect, and I'm definitely like I'm definitely I don't know about actually fighting, because fighting is a whole different thing, but in terms of hitting the heavy bag, those guys are absolute novices, whereas I'm my form, my technique, my power, like everything's at least better than the people in the gym. So I started saying, I was like, you gonna take my spot, motherfucker? Oh, you gotta do some shit to take my fucking spot. You gonna take my spot? You ain't taking my spot. Nobody in this bitch can take my spot. I'm the baddest motherfucker in it. I was saying that shit out loud. And I don't think you should go that route, because it attracts negative attention, unnecessary negative attention, But in terms of like whispering to yourself, thinking thoughts, constantly in the gym, I'm like, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the best of all time. I'm the best ever. I'm the best in this gym. Nobody can fuck with me. Nobody in this gym can fuck with me. Nobody in this world can fuck with me. I'm the best ever. I'm the greatest of all time. And I'm constantly saying this shit to myself. And but the negative attention that it can attract, which I thought was funny, like when I start picking my head up and talking good about myself. I'm not putting anybody else down. I'm just talking good about myself. Granted, besides what I told you, but this is not what I'm talking about, and I'll explain. I don't want this shit to go too long. Okay, maybe I'll go around 15 minutes. Look, point of the story is I was talking good about myself, and the guy across from me, who was the first guy to ask me if I was done with the heavy bag. And then, like, when I said no, he, like, dropped his shoulders. He was like, ugh, like, I'm not fucking done. Fuck him, But, so I take my headphones out to talk to this old guy who was going on the shorter heavy bag, and I was like, because I was just about to go on that, and I was like, hey, you can use the tall one if you want. I want to use that short one. If you want, you could use the tall one, because I could tell he was like hitting it like he didn't really want to hit it, and he was like, yeah, I want to use the tall one. So I was like, okay. So I'm about to put my headphone back in, and the guy that was across from me, the first guy who asked me if I'm done with the heavy bag, he was like, you corny as hell, bro. And I was like, okay. And I was just like so weirded out. I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't focused on him at all. Like, I was just like so in my zone. I was just talking positive about myself. And I think he was probably, his ego was hurt. He was probably so used to coming in there looking like the best boxer or whatever the case may be. And I mean, he was a fucking novice. Like, to put it into a visual picture, before he would throw the punch and hit the bag, it would be like and then throw the punch and hit the bag. It's just not, whatever. It's he was a 1 and I was a 9, if you want to rate in comparisons, just in terms of each other. And I think he was hurt by that shit. Like, his ego was hurt. And also, I was moving to the bag that was right next to him, so I think he was also scared and that kind of shit. So point of that is I just think it's funny how, when you start talking about yourself positively and you start, chest up, head up, shoulders back, feeling good about yourself, not putting anybody else down, but just feeling good about yourself, how people, you'll attract that negative attention. So I don't give a fuck, so I'm going to continue to go that route. But if you don't want to, if you don't have the self-control or are scared to have those confrontations with them, then just whisper to yourself, Sometimes I refer, you have to be smart about it. Sometimes I revert back to just thinking thoughts in my head, because I didn't like understand this shit. Like, I was just going about the process for a lot of years in my life, just going about the daily process of it. I didn't even notice that I had so many negative thoughts in my head going on like a fucking daily basis. I didn't even notice it. It was like, I didn't notice it. So I've been like battling them like on a daily basis now. And, my posture's better. I'm probably in the best physical shape of my life, despite, being in a boot for 6 weeks, and then I'm still rehabbing my ankle. But I'm still, and I was working out every single day in that boot. I guess this first podcast is just to introduce myself a little bit. You can hear my voice. You can understand how my brain works. How I'm definitely like not a fighter, physically anymore, but how I'm definitely a fighter in life. And hopefully I'll inspire you. Motivation doesn't really last, but whatever, fuck it. I use it sometimes too. Look, man, like I'm ending this, but I'm in the mindset where I gotta do whatever the fuck I gotta do to fucking live the life I want to live. So, my advice, whatever you gotta fucking do, good. As long as you're not like, there's levels to it, but as long as you don't feel like you're like, as long as you're not going too far to the point where you feel bad about it, then that's fine. Do everything that you could possibly fucking do to live the life you want to live, to be the human that you want to be. I'm rushing this because I don't want to make this too long, but I guess I could cut it up and stuff like that. I don't know. It's funny, I didn't know what to talk about, and now I have it's funny how that goes. You just talk about a bunch of shit. Like, for example, about going too far, I was watching Pumping Iron, the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger about, his bodylifting days. And to keep it quite frank with you, the guy was a fucking douchebag. Like, the guy was a cocky, arrogant, fucking douchebag. Like, he talks about fucking people up, giving them wrong advice. He's so cocky, and just the way he talks and acts and all that kind of shit. And it's funny, like, he acts like a nice guy. You could see it too. And everyone around him, even though they're competing with him, is just his bitch. And I wonder if that's just what it takes to be the absolute best at something. So my point on that is, you have to figure out what you want to do. I want to be the absolute fucking best at what I want to do, which I think I'll talk about eventually, but maybe I just want to get it going. I want to be the absolute best at what I fucking do, so I'll do whatever the fuck it takes, without compromising my character, my moral character, but I want to get this point across, like, not like what people think about me and like what people think my character should be, and like if I feel I shouldn't curse at that person because, do I really feel like I shouldn't curse at that person, or am I thinking that way because of all of my life experiences with people and thoughts and words and that I hear on a daily basis, all those kinds of things. So I definitely think it takes, no matter what level you want to accomplish what you want to accomplish, it takes like you sitting down first, deciding what you want to do, and this turned into a motivational fucking speech. Totally did. Fuck it. What do you want to do, right? I lost my train of thought, but the next step would be, to make a plan to do what you want to do. Maybe I don't want to get into that. Maybe that's why I'm fucking up right now. I was talking about the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing. Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna happen, right? Comes with it. I feel like that's a good start, though. Just like generally what, I'm gonna talk about whatever comes to heart, whatever comes to mind, and if I feel like I need to focus it a little bit, which I think I just learned right there that I do need to focus it a little bit, maybe have some things to fall back on. Or just like at least a guideline to go off of, then I'll go off of that. And then, when I start getting viewers and people have specific things that they want to talk about, specific questions and stuff like that, I can touch on those. Yeah. Look, this is, this is life. Shit happens. No one's perfect. You just got to carry on. You got to keep figuring out what more else you need to do. And fucking stop listening to this shit and go do it. So have a good day.